goes. What people are listening to are making them bored. Maybe it's not too late to find some good shit that will make them go hey. Stick around and see me. Drug for Rick's got cachet. Just don't go off the rails, listen to something lame. Just don't go off the rails, listen to something lame. Let's go.
What is going on, everybody? My name is Rick, and these are the Dreadful Minutes. So this is going to be a collection update video, and I think it's been a while since I've done a good, proper one. I got quite a mix of stuff. I got a bunch of stuff in through the year, and honestly, I don't think I'm going to be able to show every single thing I've got. So I just picked up some notable stuff, so it's going to be quite, in a way, random, and it's a mixed bag of tapes, CDs. As you guys know, I got a bunch of vinyl, but rather than put you through this, rigorous hour-long video or something like that, I'm gonna just divvy it up. So this particular video is gonna be tapes and CDs, and then the other, I'm gonna do another video showing basically vinyl for some of you who care about that stuff. So just like myself, I'm a mixed bag. I listen to quite a little bit of everything, and I collect all formats. So if you like that kind of thing, and this is your channel. So I'm gonna just kind of run through these and not make this a very long video. So this will be the first video for October. This is Oktoberfest month. Fall is here in the US anyway, this part of the world, and everybody's changes their listening Rolodex. We all like the moody stuff and stuff that's appropriate for fall. I'm no different. So I decided to, just show some stuff I picked up here throughout the year, and that's been kind of trickling in. And so right before I started this video, I'm a little bummed out because, I just found out rapper Coolio passed away. And, I know a lot of you are not into rap or hip hop or anything like that, but, he was a big part of my childhood. Back in the 90s, I listened to quite a bit of hip hop too, and I don't like a lot of new stuff. I'm more about I'm an 80s, 90s guy when it comes to that particular kind of thing. But rest in peace, Coolio, and I loved Amish Paradise. That's no Pastime Paradise. So no, that's not his either. Gangsta's Paradise. I love that song. Okay, so let's start out with two tapes here. So Cianide, you guys know it's a Chicago death metal band. These guys have been around forever. And so Aaron Pankey of, I think is how you say his last name, of the band Molder, he runs a little distro called Caustic Cassette, and he was gracious enough to reissue the old Cianide demos. So here we have the, which I guess they call the funeral demo, or just Cianide. And I believe this came out in 1990. Here it is, all in lo-fi. I think those of us who collect cassettes kind of appreciate the OG treatment for a lot of this stuff. The fact that we're even entertaining cassettes to begin with shows that, we're not looking for anything too shiny and, I don't know, and polished. So yeah, funeral demo 1990. So pretty cool. I think a lot of you have picked this up when it came out. The thing is, holy shit, man! Like, this stuff sells out pretty quickly. I think he had a low run on these tapes. So this is the one that dropped first, and then he also reissued Second Life. So this is the 1991 demo. The production on this is a lot more. There's a lot more oomph to it. It's I think they use a little whatever they used to record this sounds quite clear, and it's just I don't know, it's just more, the riffs come out better overall. It's Cianide being Cianide, but good stuff. If you like the band, you're looking to get all the material, here's a way to finally get some of their stuff again, especially if you're looking for completing their discography and you want to include their demos. So I actually just pre-ordered the Rage War demo, and that came out in 1996, and that's still up for sale on the Bandcamp. So I wouldn't sleep on that, definitely, if you're looking to get these. I think these are still sold out at the moment, so I hope he reissues them. So that's Cianide. And let's move to Sunshine Ward. Sunshine Ward is another little distro, and they deal with death metal. There's some black metal. Quite a mixed bag of stuff. And so being based in New Jersey, which is now my home state, and I thought I'd provide some support. I ordered a few things, a little bit here, and I'm not going to show everything, but it's cool they included this koozie. Drink beer, hail Satan. Yeah. So right now he has for sale a tape of this demo, actually, called Fourth Night. So this came in right here, which is I think it's named after a Rotting Christ song, and very awesome. But I think this was a one-time thing. I think on Metal Archives it's showing up as split up, so they kind of just dropped this and called it a day. But this is a very good demo. It just called Fourth Night, and this stuff right here is 2 members, and this is Black in Death, and so it's just like lyrics and stuff. And I don't get these like small scripty kind of fonts, and like it's just so hard to read. I don't know why they insist on doing that with cassette treatments. That's my only complaint. But other than that, I love everything about this. So this is limited to 50 copies. So another one I wouldn't sleep on if this is something you think you might enjoy. So this is a Black in Death with a mix of American black metal, but with a lot of Greek influence. So again, being named after that Rotting Christ song. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, so yeah, Brandon Corsair is one of the members here, and he's in that band Azath, if you guys know. Drawn and Quartered, Draghar. So yeah, and I thought it was worth mentioning because if you like those bands, interesting to see what a blackened version of this would sound like. This is a really cool tape. Although the name mentioned bands are on Nameless Grave, I think is what the main label. This particular one's put out by HPGD. I just thought it was interesting that this was put out by Sunshine Ward. Sunshine Ward puts out a lot of tapes. I think that's their main flavor. But thought it was worth a mention. It's pretty cool. Definitely check it out. Again, only 50, and that's the thing about these tapes. It's just like they're low runs, and but the tape is still pretty popular. It's I pick up a few. Sometimes it's the only format available, so I don't really hesitate there. Next up is let's move to something new. So this is a Ancient Death Sacred Vessel, and this was put up by Necroharmonic, I think. And this is some pretty cool doomy death metal. This is not quite far off from a lot of the stuff that's very popular right now. That cover right there did not really grab me. It's kind of strange, and but this stuff is more of that sort of very delicious, riffy, cavernous, and it's quite catchy. But I started digging in to this. So buddy Jake from Upside Down Church, so he hit me up with this. He goes, dude, you need to check out this band. And I did, and he knows my taste pretty well. He knew I would love this. But this answered a question of mine that I've been pondering about. There's this band I like. So these guys are from Massachusetts. So these are New England band, and I know that it's got members of Garroted. So this is a band that I was into for a little while. Garroted of Damnation and Abyssal Terrors was one of their releases here, and which is pretty cool. So again, Massachusetts, they did this cool split with another band called Calcemia, And so I've been wondering if Garage was going to put out something new. You know, it's been a while, and I thought they were due for another. So it turns out they split up during the pandemic. So sometime between 2020 and 2021, they split up. Which I love this because it's got that Lovecraftian, you know, kind of style. You know, it's got very intricate riffing. It's a little more technical, but I think these guys split it up. You know, some of the members went on to form Ancient Death, and they went in a more doomy direction this time. I guess at the same time, you know, that's what's hot right now. You know, that's what everybody, you know, wants to play. You know, but another good one is worth checking out. So, let's see what else. So at the last video, you know, I talked about life after death. I talked about life after death's death. But this just came in. I thought it was worth mentioning. So this is a band out of Quebec, and I thought I mentioned it in the last video that I put an order in. So it arrived. So this is Regress, A World of Concern. And so as you guys probably noticed, you know, been there, got the T-shirt, and you know, support, right? So this band, it kind of plays in that sort of first of all, you have to know where they're coming from. So they play that sort of death grind kind of style, but it's not your run-of-the-mill kind of thing. They're a little more, it's a little more proggy. It's a little more, it's got elements of Napalm Death. You know, it's got elements of, I'm trying to think of bands that's really popular right now. It's a little more interesting, maybe even Blackened. I think Full of Hell. You know, that's the kind of stuff that's popular right now. That's the kind of stuff that's, you know, that kind of sound that people are going after. And but what I thought was interesting is, so again, this is another one where, you know, I looked up the members and I go, whatever happened to, there's a band called Intonate. Remember Intonate? So this is the Swerve, and so it's got members from Intonate, and this is another one where they moved on, and they kind of they're still listed as active, although they haven't put out anything in a while. And this is more kind of straight out death metal. This is more in the vein of the Gorguts kind of style. Think Gorguts with a little bit of Cryptopsy, but still kind of moving in a sort of proggier direction. Not as balls out as something like Morbus Chron, but it's pretty cool nonetheless. So they kind of took this idea and kind of added a more of a grindier element to it with Regress. It's a really cool project. My only complaint is, just like that Fourth Night tape, it's like, come on guys, you got to make your stuff easy to read. Who's going to read that? You know, and I got 1920 vision. I should be able to read this stuff pretty well, and I still would struggle with this. You know what I mean? I'm over 40. I can't say 2020 vision anymore. That's just me. So next up, I managed to grab this, and this is latest output from Panopticon. So thank you, Bindroom, for reissuing this. So basically, this is the end is growing near, and this was released, as far as I know, only in tape format. So there was two versions of this. So this is a clear green shell, and I think there was a solid green shell also put out, and it's got two tracks, Haunted America 2 and The End is Growing Near, you know, which is the name of this EP. And this is unreleased material. So I think Austin shelved these tracks for a good while, and you know, because he was convinced to release them, and I'm glad he did. You know, so the mixing's done by Spencer Morris, who's been pretty much doing, I think, his last few albums. I know he did the last album, and it sounds good. I mean, it's Panopticon. It's going to sound good. It's this right here. It's quite doomy. Again, this is my wheelhouse. This is the kind of stuff I love. And I think about when you listen to a lot of the doom stuff, you know, I again but you know, done in the Panopticon way. And it's not as introspective. You know, I'll put on something like Countermass or something like that, and I'm like, you know, or even the finished stuff, and you know, I'm away. I'm like, oh, okay, but I don't think much of it. But this right here, this is some thought-provoking shit. This is the kind of stuff that you internalize. It makes you think about social issues and stuff going on in the world. You know what I mean? So this is a statement to be made here, and Austin's really good at that. I think that's one of his key and just best traits about what he does with his music, other than being amazing with, you know, musically or and visually, you know, artistic. He did the latest Falls of Rauros artwork too. You know what I mean? It's just like that's so multi-talented. But he also has a way of also communicating the issues going on with the world, yeah, through his music. So really cool. I think this was a limited run of 300. So this just sold out pretty quickly. So I don't know if you could find copies somewhere through third party sort or whatever. But this is really good. At least check out the Bandcamp. Definitely check it out and support this. Get it digitally if you have to. Really good stuff. So another one here is let's kind of switch things around and let's do some heavy metal, epic heavy metal, and not something I talk about much. So I thought I'd at least show something here that is really good and thought more people should check out. I'm sure there's a lot of you who are into this genre are aware of Sellsword, and this is one that I've been jamming in my car. It's so valiant and triumphant, and you know how this knight is raising his sword. This is exactly what this makes you feel like. I mean, you got Savage Master and Eternal Champion, and those are the hot bands right now. This band out of the UK, man, plays they play just as good as those bands. There's a very good sense of grandiosity with the sound. So this is the second full length. I think the last one was in 2016, so I still need to grab that one. Really good shit. My secret to enjoying this is I drive a little beater 4-cylinder car. So, I feel every nook and cranny of the road, especially with the potholes. So I just pretend I'm, riding a noble steed while I'm, enjoying the sonic output of this particular release here. So this is, was digital only for a good while on the Bandcamp. And I love that illustration on the CD, if you can see it. Very cool. Yeah, so it finally came out on CD. So I'm glad I held out. And so look at that. It just fits the theme so well. Just love these illustrations. So here's the band. Very cool. So I'm glad I've got something physical to actually show regarding this. But if you haven't already bought the digital through a Bandcamp, I would definitely take the opportunity now and check it out and grab the CD if you really like it, which I know you will. So Sellsword, Unto the Breach. Now let's circle back to the US. So I actually realized I pulled quite a bit more black metal than I thought. A lot of it is, I picked up a lot of US black metal this year. US black metal has been killing it this year. There's just so much really good shit. For a long time, there was, a year when everything was Swedish, another year where a lot of it was Norwegian. It's just, but US black. So this right here, this is the latest of Ebony Pendant and Lamp of Murmur. So this is a split, and these are so this was put up by Godororex out of China, and these are two bands that are very talked about right now. And Ebony Pendant, they're both one-man projects. Like a lot of these black metal bands, especially the raw variety. I know Lamp of Murmur put out Slaves in Submission last year, and that one had more of a goth tinge to it. And I think, that kind of divided people because, some people love that element. Some people completely hated it. Personally, I love it. I love bands like The Cure and Sisters of Mercy, so it didn't bother me at all. I love the sort of that direction and more melodic direction and more soloing, more lead work that was done with Lamp of Murmur. Although, this right here doesn't have that Slaves of Submission kind of sound, but he did take that sort of a little bit of the structure of a little more of the creative elements and layered it with more of the lead guitar work, a little more interesting riffing. So definitely, if you've not liked Lamp of Murmur material in the past because it was too raw and too, I don't know, caustic for you, definitely revisit it. Definitely check it out. Sound has changed quite a bit and it has evolved. I would say the same with Ebony Pendant. This is a really good split, a really good marriage. This is one of those splits where they don't both sound the same. They got their own sound and all stuff going on. So Ebony Pendant, which I think is based in Washington. Lamp of Murmur, I don't know if Lamp of Murmur is still based in Washington anymore. I gotta look that up. But really cool split nevertheless. So if you look into sink your teeth into some black metal and explore what's going on with the US black metal scene right now, and what is the good shit, this is the good shit right here. And splits are a really good vehicle for exposing multiple artists within a single release. I just love that artwork. Really, really cool. And it's kind of detailed, has a bit of that comic book look to it. So here's the Lamp of Murmur side. Really, really cool. Highly recommended. So next up, I pulled this one out. I actually had it for a little while, but the thing is that this came out in January and it kind of went quiet. I don't hear anybody talk about it. And the whole Death Doom thing is huge right now. But I feel like a band like Druid Lord, so they came out with Relics of the Dead. This is the latest full length. The other one is, again, if you like that Hood Menace sound, you love that sort of Solithus, doomy edge kind of material, this is the band for you. I just, one thing that's kind of puzzling for me is, being out of Orlando, this band can produce such a cold sound, just a dreary, Florida right now is not looking too good with the hurricane, so maybe that's part of it, I guess. But their winters are not like ours up here up north. But man, this is some sick stuff. Really good. This was put out by Hell's Headbangers. Great band. I love their last release, and they really expanded on it. And this band just keeps getting better and improving. One thing that I don't know, it was always in the back of my mind as I was listening to this was, for some reason, it reminded me of Asheron. And I wasn't sure why. There's something about the way the riffing, I don't know. But Asheron's not a doom band. They're just kind of more of a, they're a satanic death metal band. And then, I started looking back and kind of, what the hell's going on here? And it turns out, what's his name? Chris Weekland? I think it's, yeah, not sure. One of the members here played with Asheron for very briefly. And so I was like, oh, okay. So I don't know what, but for some reason it clicked. And so maybe bring in some of that feel kind of transferred over to Druid Lord. I don't know, but very cool release. So the reason I brought it up is because any of you who've forgotten about this, because with everything else coming out throughout the year, January is not a good time for a lot of releases, because especially if you're trying to do the end of the year stuff, people will kind of blow over that and forget, about good releases like this. All right, what next? Oh, so here's a comp, and a lot of you may have this too, especially if you're diehard death metal collectors, and that is the Death is Just the Beginning sort of comp series, put out by Nuclear Blast. So the reason I brought this up is because, so if you guys watch the Heavy Metallurgy and when Marty and Alan, and they had Simon from Explosive Action at one point, and there was a interesting period when Simon was talking about how he got into the extreme music and death metal and whatnot, and he pointed this out. So one of the things that kind of led the way for him, and I kind of took a note. I'm like, that's pretty cool. I didn't have this. He brought this up, and I was just like, oh, so I made a mental note to definitely check this out and pick it up. So I've heard a few of these, but more of the later ones. I need to go back and pick up 1 and 2. So this came out in 1994. So this is how far back this goes. It's past the golden age of death metal, the 90-91 years, when like all the really good shit was coming out. So this is more the B-level catalog kind of material. It's still a lot of good stuff in here. But what's interesting is I saw that episode of Heavy Metallurgy, and then, which comes on Friday nights here in the US. And Saturday afternoon, I went to the record store, and there it was sitting there. So that was a no-brainer. I picked it up. It was I don't know, was $7 too much for it? Thought it was okay. You got Sinister, Meshuggah, very early Meshuggah. You know, we're talking. It's got the song "Vanish." You got Gorefest, Hypocrisy, Brutality. Um, you know, Benediction. It opens it up with this dissection with the Knight's Blood, Cataclysm, Mortification. Yeah. So Incantation, Incubus, the Abyss. That's the members from Hypocrisy, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, really cool. So thought it was worth a mention. So if you guys are looking for some good comps and want to get a quick kind of what do you call it, schooling on early death metal, I mean, you can't go wrong with these. You know, it's kind of a good snapshot of that time period. So also, I appreciate the treatment they did with these early digipacks. Let me look at that. So another reason why I picked it up too is because it was in good condition. You know, so I see like some of these and they're just way too beat up for for me to be able to care about paying what they're asking for. So very, very, very cool. I just love that artwork. if not for the artwork alone, you know, this is definitely worth picking up. I love the Exit 13 too. I forgot to mention them. You know, it's got all these whole bunch of other bands in here. So that's that. All right. Am I doing good time? So I stopped at Jems Label, and Jems Label I think is based out of Iowa, if I'm not mistaken. And they got a sale going on. So there's some things. It's a cool like another little distro, and they carry a lot of low quantity run black metal. Every now and then you see some death metal stuff, Black in Death, quality releases, and I love popping in every once in a while and kind of just seeing you know what's up for sale there basically. So one that I'm really enjoying is this band out of Portland, Oregon, Lysergic Mirror. So I think this is the only release right here, and this is $5 right now at that. This is a steal for what you're getting here. So definitely snag it. Nice clear shell with you know some pretty. It's got all these sort of trippy lines and thing going on because this is some very nightmarish psychedelic black metal. Really cool, and this was put out by Jems themselves. So it's again, I think this is a limited run. I'm going to guess about 100 copies. I'm going to cover that part of the tape. So there's that. You can tell kind of the psychedelic element of this, right? Very vicious, but the music on this is very good. I love the riffing. You know, it's again U.S. black metal. It's killing it. And then you got these little things like this that get released and people may overlook and forget about. You know, but $5, man, $5. So one more thing I picked up from Jems Label, which I'm going to go into next, is going to lead into this, and that is the 7-inch. So Black Knife, who you know guys know are based out of Kentucky. They kind of play that sort of motor punk speed Black and Death kind of style, and they did a split with Bastard Cross. So Bastard Cross are based out of Philadelphia. So as you guys know, you know I'm a Philly guy, so it came from my neck of the woods, and so Jems put out the 7-inch version of this, and so here's the look at that. And here they are. So Black Knife is a 3-piece, and Bastard Cross is a 4-piece. Pretty cool, and so really good split. Definitely worth checking out. And the reason I mentioned this too is because this is another $5 item. So I think it was going for a little more than that. So didn't looking to clear some stock, but I saw that. I'm like, that's worth a steal. That's definitely a steal. It's definitely worth looking into it and picking up. So speaking of Black Knife, so I went and picked up the tape version of this too. So I thought it was pretty cool. So Unchained Tapes put this out. So, you know, if 7-inch, you know, I said I wasn't going to show mine in this video, but it's kind of a companion, you know, to all this. So I thought it was worth showing. Black Knife, Bastard Cross. And so Bastard Cross's sound, so, you know, a Black Knife, you know, think of bands like Midnight, you know, which, you know, it's kind of more in line with that kind of thing. Whereas Bastard Cross, kind of, to me anyways, it falls more in the Venom side of things. again, very vicious. You can tell this was printed through a whole inkjet printer, but I think cool. You know, do what you got to do. So there are still copies, as far as I know, still available on the Bandcamp. Definitely worth picking up. So again, you know, you can go to Jems Label for the 7-inch vinyl, or you can go the Bandcamp and pick this up here. So I think you can go to either Black Knife's page of the Bandcamp or the Bastard Cross. Bastard Cross included some stickers here too, which is pretty cool. So check this out. And you know, I got some Bandcamp codes that they included. I'm gonna go ahead and put these up. So here is the Black Knife Bastard Cross split. So if anybody who wants to grab that, I'll just put it up real quick. Hopefully it's not too blurry. How's that? Okay. You know, just leave a comment, you know, that you redeemed this so that people know it's already been redeemed, you know. So that's that. And so I went ahead and picked up the latest Bastard Cross EP right here. So really, really cool. So they got the split with Black Knife, and they got their own kind of solo stuff. This is still available on their Bandcamp. So it's just 4 tracks. Again, it's more vicious, you know, blackened style, speed, you know, punky style of, you know, of I guess thrash you can throw in there too. You know, kind of hard to describe their sound. So another really good band out of Philadelphia. I think, you know, bands like this, you know, coming out of the woodwork with bands like Black Knife, you know, I've been a fan of Black Knife for a while, you know, so I'm glad to add Bastard Cross to the roster of those bands that, you know, I do enjoy. Bastard Cross also included this poster with it. So you guys are, look at that, from the Crypts of Philadelphia. Yeah, so I don't know if I should frame it or not. I'm still kind of deciding on that, but I thought it was pretty cool. They threw that in there. So the members from I don't know if it's 1 or 2 members, but I know there are members from Bastard Cross who also have another project called Skullovich. And so as far as I know, it's tape only, but really cool. I guess EP demo. I think this is the second demo. They've had a demo 1, which was more raw than this, and so I still need to pick that one up. But this is really good stuff. It's Keeper of Fate, the Nightmare Death Dealer. It's got 3 tracks, and this is it doesn't sound like Bastard Cross per se. It's got elements of what you hear from Bastard Cross, but this is more because Bastard Cross has a bit of the first wave kind of black metal element to it too. You know, that's why I kind of gave it that Venom comparison. But these guys have a bit of a first wave sound too, but it's more in the vein of the Celtic Frost, Hellhammer kind of direction of things. It's a little more gruff. Even the singing's a little more puffed, you know, kind of hefty, and you know, take Tom Warrior. Not exactly Tom Warrior, but you know, it's got a bit of that edge to it, which is really, really cool. So yeah, it says it right here, demo 2. Really cool. Again, it's just 3 tracks, and Chevy McQuaid, I think that's his name, the vocalist. So he's in both bands. So really cool. Kind of like that wizard guitar treatment there. There's a bit of a fantasy element to this too. And what I mean by that is, so I got this tape, right? And it came with this lyric sheet. Rather than print on the tape itself. You know, I was just complaining about how small the type is and stuff that's hard to read. And you know, these guys kind of did the total opposite and just, you know what, we're just going to give you a whole sheet of paper with our lyrics here. Do what you will. So for the 3 tracks, you know, nice big font. For those of you over 40 and have a hard time reading, don't have 20/20 vision anymore. So it also included this, The Legend of the Banished God. So it has a bit of an overview of the Skullovich kind of lore, if you will. It's about the god of chaos. There's a whole, I'm not going to go into the whole intricate details of what's going on, but there's a whole lore behind this. And included it on the sheet, crazy enough. So I have a feeling they're going to expand on that with whatever else they put out. But cool project. You know, guys, don't end it. Definitely continue on with this. I love the sound. You know, Ambassador Cross 2. So another, again, out of Philadelphia. Good shit. Okay, next up, we've got. I don't give enough HPGD some love. You know, I did an unboxing video for them, you know, late last year, and you know, so they put out this Viogression Perception Blur. Viogression, you guys know, are a death metal band out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and you know, very thrashy. And you know, if you picked up their early material, and you guys know how vicious that band is. It's, you know, really vicious. So, and this is we're talking about their full length album. Now try going back to their demo days, and this stuff is insane. I just love how aggressive and raw and primal this is. Don't get fooled by that cover. You know, it got some high fidelity art there, but the sound does not reflect that. It sounds very raw. So this is the early demos, 88 and 1990. Definitely worth to pick up. So I guess this is a co-release. Yeah, HPGD, Thrashing Corpse Records. Just really good stuff here. Think of you know, a little bit of you know, John Tardy, you know, but add more thrash and more just, I don't know, it's just more meanness to it. So let me see, the Execution demo March 90, Perception Blur demo 89, Apocalypse demo 89, Disaster demo 88, Rehearsal tape August of 88. Yeah, so this is going way back. So this is a lot more thrashy as far as the riffing and playing goes. You know how that early death metal stuff was. Definitely worth your picking up and checking out for your collection. This is one I really enjoyed. Another reason I decided to bring this up too is because Viogression put out an album this year. You know, what is it? Third Stage of Decay, and you know, I'm waiting for that to arrive. That's really good, and no one's talking about it. So this is what it looks like. Great artwork. You know, their sound is not as thrashy, and it's not as what do you call it? I don't know. It's not as abrasive as it was as their earlier material. You know, they definitely have evolved since then. But you know, but after checking it out in a few listens, I ended up loving it, and I just ended up said this is definitely a must pick up. So that's Viogression. You know, I know a lot of you guys love this band. Definitely pick up their demo material. It's worth it. Not because it's different demos. You know, you're gonna have different variances of quality, which is expected, especially when you do a compilation like this. So let's move over to so I talked about Sunshine Ward, and I'm actually looking at what I have here, and I actually forgot to mention some other pickups. So so this is Hungry Wolf with Forgotten Frozen Lands, and they still have this for sale on their site, and it's very cool. It's got so this is a crust punk, I guess you could say, thrash band out of Russia. I'm not sure exactly where in Russia, but if you can see that, I just can't get this thing to focus. Kind of got that medieval element going on. Came in a nice blue shell. Really cool. I love this, man. This is yeah, throw a little card in there. This is think of influences. So think of something a little blackened, more of a metallic edge, but then add a early Amoebix and Discharge, you know, on top of that. So this is another one that has a lot of attitude, you know, in their own kind of way. So highly recommended. Still for sale on their site. I think they have another release too, which I also need to pick up. As much as I love this one, so hoping it's just as good. So at the same time, Sunshine Ward threw something in the, you know, in the envelope, which I don't remember ordering. I think this was a freebie. So thank you. You know, so this is a band I didn't have anything of in the collection. So this is Typhonian. So this is the Cosmic Pendulum of Time release, and you can see there's some kind of a fantasy, cosmic, maybe even a cultish thing going on here, and really cool release. You know, this is one of those death metal bands. I guess you can call it second, third, fourth tier. I guess death metal. You know, it's this is not a band that gets really mentioned a whole lot. You know, I think they silently put out releases. So they're based out of Germany. And you know, as I was listening to this, I love the melodic riffing on this. You know, it's got quite a bit of atmosphere. You know, again, which kind of gives it that cosmic vibe. You know, the melodic moments remind me a lot of Bolt Thrower when they go through their sort of, you know, intricate melodic moments. This band is you can hear some of those influences there. Sonically and just overall, they kind of remind me of another German band. You guys know Deserted Fear. They remind me of Deserted Fear in a lot of ways. I wonder if I'm sure if they shared the stage at some point. You know, but so cool of Central Ward also to put this out for U.S. Distribution. So really cool, and I thought it was worth the mention. So let's see. We also have another one that I kind of just want to give people a reminder. You know, it just because I got this tape, right? So it's Fetid Zombie, which you guys know is Mark Riddick's band, and he did a split with well, he did a split. I think these are both one metal. No, Corpse Hole, based out of Texas. Right here, really cool. And this is the From the Tomb split. Very, very cool. So if you guys have not been collecting any Fetid Zombie stuff, definitely check it out, man. I know Mark's put some of his stuff up on Spotify, and you know, if you just want to scope it out real quick, and for some reason you don't like going to Bandcamp, and of course, you know, being that Mark's involved with this, it's going to have his artwork on it, like all his other stuff. You know, who's going to say no to that? You know. So really cool. I think I mentioned it before. I'm a sucker for clear shell, you know, and black print. You know, it's just pretty cool. And so I think I ordered this directly through Mark Riddick's site. If you go to Mark Riddick's site, you know, he's got a bunch of material and stuff for sale. You know, his artwork is just legendary. You see it, you know it's him. So Corpse Hole, you know, they're another band. You know, it's kind of interesting because the vocalist for Corpse Hole reminds me of Dave Ingram. You know, he's got the very kind of I can't do it very well, but you know, it's kind of it's like if Dave Ingram was American. You know, it's ended up here, and you know, it kind of Corpse Hole kind of reminds me of a little bit of kind of stuff that the bands that he's been in. You know, so again, I hear some influences of some of the European death metal bands. You know, but at the same time, you know, it's you know, it's good stuff. Fetid Zombie, they have a bunch of material, and I will say not everything sounds exactly the same. Mark has definitely progressed over time, you know, with trying out different things, you know, with his band, Fetid Zombie. You know, he's got a bunch of other bands too, which, again, this is the thing about prolific people. So this is why I wanted to focus more on the Corpse Hole side of it, you know, because this is a band that I think needs to put out more material, just, you know, kind of get their name out there, you know, but this split's a good way to kind of this pair up, you know, to get their name out there, you know, with a band like Fetid Zombie, you know, which is got a ton of material out there. So, you know, when I put the order in through Mark's site, so no kidding, anybody who's ordered from there would know what I'm talking about. Look at this. The guy is generous as hell. You know, he kind of threw in these little postcards, and not really postcards, but just, you know, these little small prints of promo material. And this is the kind of promo material that, you know, I could definitely stand behind. You know, you don't want to throw it away. You know, it's got a lot of this stuff you can give out to people, even people who are not into death metal, man. If people just like fucking love sick ass artwork, you know, you could just kind of pass these along and be like, look, man, I know you're not into death metal, but come on, how can you say no to that? You know what I mean? Put that on your night table, you know, put that on, you know, on the kitchen counter, whatever. So there's that. Okay, so another one here is a band called Aphelion, which is based out of Missouri. So this is some good old southern black metal, Black in Death, I guess you could say, and The Chill of Heaven's Abandonment. So this came out. Did it come out last year? So this it was a very limited run. It was only 100, so I got 72 here. And but looking at that cover, you know, just everything going on here, you're gonna go, this is some very lo-fi stuff, and you'd be right, but it's executed very well, actually, and it's very Another one's very catchy and just very they kind of take a little bit of the Judas Iscariot school of thought, but these guys kind of have a bit of that depressive elements, um, you know, but it's still very harsh and just, I don't know, it's just very, very good. But the reason I brought this up is not so much because of this, but because there has been a new edition that's put out, which I think is still for sale on the Bandcamp. So Aphelion put out the Shield of Heaven's Abandonment. Is more like a redux. So they added a guitarist. So who put this out? It doesn't quite say. I think this is WereGnome. I think WereGnome put this out. You guys don't know WereGnome. They put out a lot of other cool material and quirky stuff and dungeon synth and stuff of that ilk. So very cool. So this is basically the same album, but it's been remixed, not re-recorded. I think it's just been remixed with additional guitars, and the additional guitars on this fucking excellent. I don't have a preference between the original mix and this. I think I like the more primal sound and just raw and just harshness of it. But you get both flavors, man. You get best of both worlds. So with this one, if you want more of a atmospheric, more fidelity, with the additional guitars, different kind of tone, definitely go with the with this one. As far as I know, this is only on tape, so this should definitely, if it's not on CD, this definitely should be on CD. Another thing that's pretty notable too is this is Carl Dahmer's band. So if you guys know Carl Dahmer, he's another prolific artist. So I thought this was a good lead into just coming out of Mark Riddick discussion here. And Carl Dahmer, I'll just show some random images of some of his artwork. And he has a very distinctive style. It's very kind of erratic and very chaotic and messy, done in a very purposeful kind of manner. That's very appropriate for this kind of music. He's done a lot of stuff for, still putting out a lot of artwork for death metal, black metal bands, thrash bands. I have quite a bit of his material actually, or artwork, that he's done. So yeah, so just like Mark Riddick, this another artist has got his own band, so this is a full band, so he does the vocals on this, which I thought was definitely worth a mention. So Aphelion, the Shield of Heaven's Abandonment, pick your poison. I think this is sold out for now, but I think this is still available. So get the original mix or the re-recorded with additional guitars edition. And I'm almost done here, folks. So hold on to your britches. So last thing I want to talk about is a release that came out in March, and another one where I noticed nobody's talking about it either, and it's quite good. This is a different flavor, I guess what you call black metal. So I'm talking about Stare right here. Very non-assuming cover. So I've been a Stare fan for a little over a year and a half, something like that. And so my buddy Jake, again from Upside Down Church, thank you, Jake. Gave me a demo of his. Josh Hines is his name. Again, based out of Kentucky. I think it's cool. Nice high quality sticker. Nice and glossy there. So last year was the what is it, below 18 degrees, something like that, below the horizon. Was the full length, and I loved it. So I picked that up too from during that Black Mass, and then Onism Productions put out this EP this year, and it's got 4 tracks. I think it's an EP. It could be the full length. I'm not quite sure if it's a full length or an EP, but God, man, this stuff is. So this is 4 out of 100 right here. So it's a very low run, but last I checked, it was still available on the Bandcamp, and it just blows my mind, and more people are not talking about this because it's got quite a richness to the sound. Josh has a background. I think he was involved in another band. He playing kind of that sort of black gaze, post black, and with some proggy elements. And it kind of takes all those elements and all that creativity and envelops it in this sort of a sort of US black metal kind of sound. Very creative, very memorable. My favorite track, Pain of the World, right there. You really feel it's kind of what Austin does with his stuff. You you feel that there's a lot of emotion to it. I guess it's the, I struggle with trying to find the words, but the way Austin communicates through melodies, Josh, I think kind of has that similar effect to me. So if you like kind of the more emotive stuff, but still wrapped in that black metal shell, kind of black gazy, you like bands like Unrequited, kind of moving that direction, but maybe not quite as that. And the reason I say that is because it's also quite symphonic. for a one man thing, there's a lot going on, and very what do you call it? There's very cerebral and very rich. There's a lot of depth to this. So Stare, the What It Is to Be, definitely check it out. So I think with everything here, I'm gonna end it with that, and so stay tuned for another drop. So I'm gonna do another update and talk about some of the vinyl that I picked up. So for this edition, keep it dreadful, and then I'll see you on the next one.